All right, everybody. How's everybody doing? Go ahead and fade out our intro music. There we go. Now, if you're wondering why things look different, it's because we are streaming from my laptop right now, actually. So hopefully this is coming through okay. I just hooked up my Yeti and my camera I'm used to using to my laptop here. And we are out in our garage, which is where we have the temporary operations set up. So basically right now we are operating out of the garage. Luckily this house has a big garage attached to it and it's heated because it's cold here. It's actually quite cold. But we are streaming live from Hobart, Indiana, and I was informed by the locals that it's Hobart, not Hobart. So I got yelled at, and now I call it correct. I am going to plug my shirts here. This is a shirt you can get from the TH3D shop. There's no place like home. I've got quite a few, so I'm always going to be making sure I wear our shirts on here because I've got quite a few of them. As you can see behind me, we have all of our printers right here. The ones on the top are ones that are in development, so they're not fully operational. That's why they're not printing. But most of our other ones are running. So, and behind here, this is actually all of our inventory racks. I can pan around here. You can see there's our shipping area and the computer for that. And this is our temporary operations. So about 150 feet that way is a separate building, which we're going to be starting work on probably in about 2 weeks. So that's the plan. I don't know if you see the chair there. I found blue and white chairs that are the same color as our color scheme. So all the chairs except for obviously my AK racing chair, which I'm trying to find one in blue and white. And I'm going to try to get our logo put on the actual chair. But all our guys have matching blue and white chairs now in here. Instead of the random old desk chairs we have that are falling apart, they all have new chairs that just came in today. So they are no longer sitting on folding chairs and old desk chairs that we've had sitting around for ages. So let me know how the quality is. I am streaming on wireless right now, but I do have full signal and I'm on our 5 gigahertz, so I should have plenty of bandwidth. I don't anticipate us having any issues. I did grab something from one of the local breweries here. There's one called Byway that's out in Hammond, I believe. And this is a crowler of their new Double Tail. So I'm going to enjoy this. So this is going to be a very casual stream. I just wanted to, see how everybody's doing and talk about a couple things. We've had quite a few different. Well, I'm not going to drink it out of this. This is a crowler, so this is like what you take to go. I'm going to put it in a regular cup here. So I'm going to go ahead and pour this. Hopefully I don't get too much head on here. Oh, look at that. I haven't had this before, but it's their new one that just came out. Oh, there we go. A little more fizzy. But I got it in my Black Mesa Research Facility mug. So, yeah, there's a couple things I want to talk about. If you guys have been following our Instagram and Twitter and Facebook page and all that other stuff, that's too pale to be happy. Well, let me see. I'm gonna let this settle for a sec because I do not know how to pour beer. I know how to drink said beer, but pouring is not my strong suit. But it's I don't believe I believe it is an IPA. I don't know if they have any info on the. Let me see. I'm Googling this right now. Byway Brewing Double Tail. Let's see. It is. Let's see here. So I'll post it in the chat. This is what I'm enjoying. Let's see. It is an old school pale ale with hops up front, pine, citrus, and Old Stone fruit notes, and a smooth, dry finish. This sounds delicious. Yeah, so hopefully it is. We'll see. Let's see. Let's get a little taste. Yeah, that's good. It's got a kind of a sweet aftertaste. Not too hoppy. There are hops. So, yeah. So we are officially Hoosiers. We are officially Hoosiers now. I actually got our LLC paperwork in paperwork in on the 8th, so we are officially registered LLC in Indiana, and we have dissolved and processed all the paperwork to dissolve our LLC in Illinois. So we are officially in Indiana. We are officially registered in Indiana as a business now. So yeah, in terms of, let's get all the fun stuff out of the way. So we shut down the store, and it's going to remain closed until the 14th. And that is so we can get inventory counts done, make sure our physical stock reflects our website stock. And then we also are going to get all the orders that are backed up, or not all of them. We have like 400 something orders in the queue right now. So try to get as many orders as we can out. Our guys have been here. Actually, it's 10:30, and our two guys just left around 8 o'clock. So they've been working about 12 to 14 hours a day to help get our EasyABL kits out and package and everything out the door. Samantha's been putting a lot of extra hours too, and I am as well. I just want to take a little break and chat with everybody because it's been a long time, and honestly, I saw my buddy Matt streaming on his Akuma mods, and I missed you guys, honestly. Like, I miss doing streams. I got my desk kind of hooked up, so it's why I'm not streaming from there. Also, this is just a cooler backdrop. So I'm in my garage, and eventually we will have a full studio set up in the new shop. So we are art pupil Jeff Bowen. Oh, where are we at? I'm in Hobart, Indiana. So yeah, we're in Hobart, Indiana. Yeah, they're the same guys from Illinois. To give you an idea, we only moved about 35 minutes from where we were originally located. So I can drive back to our condo, which we still own. So if you know anyone that's looking for a condo in Illinois, we've got a 1,500 square foot 2-bed, 2-bath condo with a heated garage that we'll be putting on the market in a couple weeks here. Right now, my dad is basically patching all the walls from, like, the anchors from things hanging on the walls and the TV mounts and stuff, and repainting the entire unit, and we're putting in all new carpeting. So if you know anybody that wants a nice condo in the Oak Lawn area, please let me know, because we will be selling it in a couple weeks. Let's see what chat's going on here. 3 Floyds is awesome. I gotta go hit up 3 Floyds. If Tyler West is in here, he's gonna be coming in a couple months here, and we're gonna go hit up 3 Floyds, and he's bringing me some beer, and I'm gonna make sure I pick up a couple cases of Zombie Dust. So orders are still on track for the posted dates. So we made a post basically saying here, and I'm going to pull it up so I make sure I have the right information here. If the camera shakes, it's because it's on the top of my laptop screen right now, and I'm running off one screen, so you have to forgive me while I'm checking this. So if you go to our news page, or actually if you go to any of our product pages, there is an update there that is shown. And like I said, orders are turned off until the 14th. So right now, here is our current pace for schedule. So we are shipping out orders from 12/17 to 12/22. They started shipping yesterday. I believe, I'm going to check our order queue here. I think we're ahead of this schedule. Let me check here. Okay, we're down to 380 orders. This was 460 when I checked this morning. So they've shipped almost 100 orders today. There's a couple stragglers here. Looks like they're waiting on printed parts. So the oldest order, leaving out these 2 anomalies, is from the 26th right now, which we had said that they'd be shipping out by the 15th. So we should be there should be no reason that we're not on track for that. And that's another reason why we closed down the orders, is we want to make sure that we can actually get everything out the door and focus on the orders that are already in the queue. And if anybody does want to cancel their, which I think about 20 people have canceled, we went ahead and refunded them. So if you are tired of waiting on your order, it's not a big deal. Just give us a shout through our email. Go to the contact us and just give us your order number, and we'll cancel it for you and issue you a refund. Let's see what's going on in chat here. A lot of Indiana people in the in the chat. I don't know what a Hoosier is. Does anyone want to educate me on what a Hoosier is? Because I know that's a term used to define people or refer to people from Indiana, but I have no idea what it means. Kyle's wearing his TH3 shirt. Awesome. Yeah, so there are a couple things I wanted to talk about. I don't know if I'm going to be able to share my monitor. Let me see here. Yeah, no, it doesn't like that. Let me hang on. Let me see here. Because I only have one display on here. All right, let's see if it's going to actually do it. Apparently not. Apparently it's just like, nope, we're not displaying your monitor here. Let me add one more here. Let's see, display capture, primary monitor. Here, add new source. Ah, there we go. Okay, let me move this down. Okay, there we go. So now we've got this up. I wanted to show you guys here. So if we go to our Twitter here, those of you with Ender 3s, this is something we're going to be looking into because we have 8 of them here. Just in case anybody missed it, there are reports of these XT60, and I say XT60 because they're clones. They're not genuine XT60s. They're Chinese copies. And I need to determine if it's an issue with how they're terminated, because some of them on the earlier models are soldered right here, and some of them are crimped. And XT60 connectors are not crimp connectors. So they're using some Chinese version on some of them that are crimp connectors, and what's happening is the current going through these, which is only 10 amps at 24 volts, which an XT60 is rated for 60 amps, hence the name XT60. There's no reason these should be doing this. There's no reason that these connectors should be burning up. If we go to, let me see here. Let's see if I go to my Facebook here. People commented on a couple of other things. My laptop is not happy with me right now. Let me check my. Yeah, it is not happy. I mean, it's not a slow laptop by any means, but we are definitely pushing the envelope here with what it wants to do. So let's see here, because I had posted right here. Here it is. So I had posted these. That's a single picture. Where is the actual post? Here we go. So a couple other people here, they said they just, and this is what you can do. You can literally just cut it out and then solder the wires together, positive, positive, negative, negative, and then you don't have to worry about it. His was actually fused together internally. That's how bad his was. There were a couple other posts here. There's a bunch of nerds arguing over what kind of connector, XT60 versus Dean's versus a bunch of other stuff. I thought it was hilarious. You got guys arguing over what type of connector is best. That was funny. I love you guys. And this guy's was really bad. His actually shorted and was smoking. So the point is, there's a lot of issues. There's a lot of issues with those connectors, and it's kind of concerning for us because I have 6 regular Ender 3s and 2 Ender 3 Pros. We got a bunch of, like, they're returns from Amazon. So one of our vendors we deal with actually sells on Amazon, so he gave us the opportunity to buy some of these returns for a very cheap price, as is, and we're going to use them for our print farm. But I am honestly probably just going to make a harness to bypass the XT60 connector, meaning just a couple of crimp terminals on the end of some wires, those wires going to the board. So I've got about 400 meters of 12 gauge silicone wire. So I'm just going to basically cut the length I need and crimp on the connectors and then do that. Now, I am going to be putting the dual Z kits that I posted a teaser of on these machines, so the power supply has to move anyways, and these are going to be going in enclosure. So what I'm going to do is mount the power supply on the outside of the enclosure and then just run longer 12 gauge wires to the board. So, you know, it's going to have to happen in terms of replacing them anyways, so I'm just kind of killing 2 birds with 1 stone. And I am going to measure what the stock length should be, and then basically have on our site for a couple of bucks. You can buy a length of 12 gauge silicone wire with the ends pre-crimped, and you just swap them out. So that will be the fix for that, is we'll have basically pre-crimped cables that are all nice and 12 gauge. So I did not check if the Dual Z should work on the Mini. It would just be a matter of replacing the belt that goes between the two, and I believe changing the lead screw, but I haven't had time. This is the first time I've gotten to take a little break here. So Midnight Ninja, I have this is just I think this is almost 2 years old. It's a 6700 HQ CPU and a GTX 1070, so it's not slow by any means. But I'm not going to replace this. This is just going to be it's just basically my mobile gaming system. But I still have my main system, so I'll be streaming from my office area, which is there's a door to the house is an attached garage. So between the house and the garage is a room that's about 250 square feet, and I'll be using that for my office. And then once the shop is done, so here's a timeline of events if anybody is wondering. So we have a 2,000 square foot building out like that way. Like I'm literally sitting, it's literally out this way. It's got 3 garage bays that's all open. So there's 3 doors and it opens into one open space that's about 1,400 square feet. And there's a 600 square foot office area that's already finished and insulated. I do have to replace some of the drop ceiling tiles, but we're going to replace the drop ceiling tiles, replace the fluorescent lights with LED lighting, which I've done. I've got 3 more fixtures to replace in here. But most of these are LED because all the fluorescent ballasts are going out. So basically, I'm going to replace the fixtures, put in ducting because we're going to put HVAC out there, so heating and cooling. I have a guy that was referred to me by a friend of mine that lives out here that does HVAC, so we're going to have it come in professionally done. And then all the printers will be in that office area, and the printer farm will be 9 of these racks back here, so we'll have room for, so 9 times 6, what's that, 42? If my math is correct. 54, sorry, it's late. I'm going to blame it on the one drink of beer I had. So we'll have room for 54 machines in the office, and those are going to be set up in the U fashion, and then I'm going to build out a desk that is about 3 feet away from all those racks, so we can still easily get to the racks, and that desk will have storage on the back side, so the part where I will stand, and then the front of it will have our logo on it with lighting, and I'm going to make it look really nice. And then I'm going to hang a large TV on the wall behind me, so that way when we're doing streams, we can have information displayed behind me and have all the lighting mounted on the ceiling, shooting down, so that's all already set up, so we get good lighting. And then the camera's mounted with multiple different angles, so we'll be able to do videos that are really high quality. And I'm going to build another system just to do the video and streaming out there. I'll still stream from my desktop occasionally, but that's the plan. So then once that office area is done, the rest of the shop area needs to get framed out and insulated, so we're gonna have to frame out all the walls and then add some more lumber up in the ceiling. And we're probably going to do, it's looking like we're going to do one of those corrugated metal type deals on the ceiling and probably wood on the walls, and then we're just going to paint it white. So like the MDF, it's not MDF, but it's like a chipboard, like a weatherproof chipboard, if you guys know what I'm talking about. I'm not a construction person, but I've been going back and forth with a bunch of different people trying to figure out what we're going to do. So basically it'll be one big open space, and that'll be where all of our shipping, our packaging, our inventory happens. And then in the office will be desks for people that work for us and soldering stations, and that's what will be in the office area in addition to the printer farm and the video area. So the printer farm will be kind of the backdrop of the video area. So OSB, that's it. So, and then once all this is out of here, this last bay where I'm sitting, so I'll just show you guys. So you can see here there's a garage door opener here, which I have disconnected, and this is a garage door, and we have our one soldering station and our second soldering station and the shipping area here. And you can see that's an LED light I already changed out. This is still fluorescent, but all our inventory and then the printers here. So this last garage bay, so basically from where this rack is sitting all the way over here, I'm going to frame out a wall, and we're going to get rid of the garage door here, and I'm going to put in a service door with a, there we go, the camera settled finally. I'm going to put a service door with a window here, and then we're going to put a wall up, and this one, we're going to go down to a 3-car garage, and this will be my office area. So this will be where I'll have my desk. So my desk will move from the den area into here. And then Samantha's going to move her desk from the third bedroom to where the den was, and we're going to put up a wall there so it can be closed off. And the reason we're doing this is because in the next, 18 months, I would say we're probably going to start trying to have kids, and we want to have a guest bedroom still. And since it's only a 3-bedroom house and her office is taking up one, we're going to have to move her office, and I want her to have her own space. And I also want to have my own space. So I have no problem finishing out this area in the garage and taking over one of the garage spaces, because we don't need 3, or we don't need a 4-car garage. There's no reason for it. A 2-car would be fine, but this house came with a 4-car garage that's heated, and it's awesome. I'm really thankful that we were able to find this property, because it's going to work very well for us. Yeah. So let's see. I'm just scrolling through here. Crimping and soldering. Oh man. Let's see. Just going through. Yeah, feel free to answer questions. I see Matt was like, the heater's loud. It's not bad. I don't know if you guys can hear it that well. I would give you guys a tour, but 1, it's really messy, and 2, I don't have a way to take this camera wirelessly. Yeah, if you want to convert Ender 2 to Dual Z, you'd be honestly better off just buying a CR10 or an Ender 3 and keeping the Ender 2 the way it is. Because our Ender 2, even though it's single and it's cantilevered, you can see it right there. Little yellow guy. It prints great. We're going to try to have the artillery ready for sale the last week of January, and that's pending any issue. So as long as anything doesn't happen to set us back, then we should be shipping units of that printer in January towards the end. Let's see here. I honestly wanted to build our entire print farm with the artilleries, but I only have 10 of them. One of them is going to Scott Latine from Marlin. We're giving him one that's fully loaded so he can use it for development work, because it's got a lot of features on there that most machines don't have. So he's going to be able to use it to do a lot of development. And then we'll have 9 of those for sale. And I'm going to order more in about a week here. I'm probably going to order about 50 of them and just have them in. I want to see if there's anything else I need to change after we go through and build out a bunch of them. The Ender 5, we have it here. The Ender 5 support. If you look on our GitHub, if you just search TH3D GitHub, then you'll find it. I think it's like TH3D UF-R2. But there's a beta on there. I have an Ender 5 brand new in box. I also have an Ender 4 brand new in box sitting downstairs. This whole move thing, I literally just got my desk built today. I don't even have my computer set up on there. So I will be adding support for the Ender 4 and the Ender 5. It's the artillery. If you go to our website, if you go to th3dstudio.com, this is in terms of the printer. If you hover over products, you'll see Artillery Easy 300 coming soon. You can go ahead and check that out. And there's going to be a few more updates. There's some pictures on there. There's like a CR10 style fan shroud. We're doing away with that. We've got a much nicer design. So I got some new things to put on there, but all the feature wise, those are pretty much done. Like, we've crammed a lot of stuff in that machine, and we're going to be coming out right around $8.99 shipped in the US. And we're going to see how that works, because we need to figure out how long it's going to take us to build each machine, because I did the one and it's a prototype, and the thing is, I did a little bit and then a little bit and a little bit, so I don't know how long it takes us to actually build a machine yet. So but that would be $8.99 shipped, and it is about in setup, and eventually we will have an option to do direct drive, but right out of the gate we're only going to have, this is what you get and that's it. So I want to do direct drive, but I don't have the manpower right now. But we are hiring another person. We have a new guy starting on the 21st, and I'm not going to say who it is, because he had mentioned that he is waiting to make an announcement until next week. I know he's already given his notice at work. So, but we are hiring a higher level guy. That's actually one of our customers. He started as a customer and stalked me in Micro Center. You know who that is? And he's been a great friend of ours. He's an awesome guy, and he's very knowledgeable with the printers. He's really great to work with, and we made him an offer and he accepted. So he's actually going to be making more money than I do. So we're going to pay him well. I'm not going to work him like a slave like I do myself. So, yeah, we're not doing dual independent extruders. That's a mess. It will have a Titan type extruder. We have our Tough extruder, which is based off of that. I know I saw a guy, Dave Marshall, I didn't see your, I didn't miss your thing. I'm just talking, so I'm going to copy your question here, talking about the clones. And I do want to talk about it. It's a really good question. So, I mean, Midnight Ninja, if you want to come out and help out, I have no problem paying people to help us. Because we have a lot of stuff to build out. Just let me know. You know how to get a hold of me. Let's see here. Build area on our printer is going to be 300 by 300 by 300. So I'm not going as tall as the CR10 because most people don't use that build height. And it just adds cost to the machine and makes shipping more of a pain because then you're pushing it into the next boundary in terms of your volumetric space. And let's see here. So let me put this up on my notepad here because the chat keeps scrolling. So Dave Marshall asked, what's your take on the backlash in the community towards clones? I know you sell a few clone products, but also some original designs. Does that create some internal conflict? So let me educate you guys on how our process works. So we carry our Tough all-metal hot end and the Tough extruder and the Tough dual hot end. These are all based on the E3D open source design. So meaning E3D designed these products and they sell them. However, just like your Marlin firmware, they've said, here's all the designs. Anybody can take them and use them. You know, commercial, personal, whatever you want. Here they are. Here's the designs. And then you have to obviously then provide the source form. So we actually have the mechanical drawings linked on the product pages. So my policy is I'm not going to sell stuff. Like for example, a BL Touch clone. I will never endorse or sell anything that's copied from BL Touch. And I've been on GTech about this because they sell a copy of the BL Touch. The BL Touch is not an open source product. It is not something that they've given permission to other people to make. So if you buy a BL Touch clone, you are supporting theft of the intellectual property of Ant Collabs. So if you're going to buy a BL Touch, buy a genuine BL Touch. Do not buy a Triangle Labs clone. Do not buy a GTech clone. Buy a genuine BL Touch. So my policy is if it's open source and it's not advantageous for us to sell the original, I'm going to try to find a third party to make the product to our standards. So we've been back and forth with E3D, and I'm not going to divulge, specifics, but it just doesn't make sense for us to sell them because the amount of demand and pressure they put on the resellers is not worth it based on the margin. So I can provide my customers a better quality and maybe not better quality product. I would say on par, maybe slightly less in terms of quality because E3D's machining looks beautiful, but at the end of the day, the parts we sell, they work, and they might not look as pretty and have a nice polished surface as the E3D parts, but they're a fraction of the fraction of the cost. And I'm also able to provide a 90-day warranty on our parts that we sell, whereas E3D only gives you 30 days. So if anything happens outside of 30 days, if you bought an E3D, it doesn't matter. You spent $100 on a hot end, you're on your own. You got 90 days through us and you save a lot of money. So, I've used E3D parts in the past. I haven't been impressed with them. So just that alone, my policy is I don't sell stuff I don't use myself. And because I don't use E3D products myself, because I've had bad experiences with them in the past and I don't think they provide a good value right now, I don't sell them. So whereas the stuff that we sell, like the Tough hot end, the Tough extruder, that kind of stuff that's based on those designs, I believe they provide a really good value for the money because we bundle a lot of stuff. We've got dual voltage support. Doesn't matter if you have 12 or 24, we include both parts. We include a bunch of nozzles. We include a bunch of extras like thermistors. I try to bundle and pack a lot of stuff into these so you guys get a lot of value. If you were to buy a Titan extruder from E3D and then buy the Bowden adapter and thumb screw and the hardened steel gear, you're easily over $120 last time I checked, which is probably about 5 months ago, for a Titan extruder, where for $40 you can get that same setup from us, and I would put our version of it up against theirs any day. The quality is exactly the same. I've actually had less issues with the Tough extruder that we sell than genuine E3Ds on custom printers I built, because we've had custom printers built that we've done here, and they've the customers requested genuine E3D parts, so we'll go and buy genuine E3D parts. And I've had more issues with the genuine E3D parts, and I can't, if something happens, let's say a bearing goes out or something, I don't have stock on their parts. I don't have genuine E3D parts, so I have to then go out of pocket and buy them. And the customer, if they just spent $2,000 on a printer and they go, oh, well, this bearing failed on my Titan extruder, which happened. Well, sorry, it's 45 days out. E3D gives a 30-day warranty. I can't do anything, so you're going to have to buy the part. And they're not happy to hear that. We've lost thousands of dollars on multiple custom machines that we use E3D parts on that I ended up eating shit on because they didn't have a longer warranty than 30 days. They wouldn't do anything. So that's why I don't sell their stuff. I don't like it. If they stood behind their products longer and provided the resellers with more support, I would sell them in a heartbeat. But in terms of how much they cost versus what you get, that was the deciding factor. So, but the long story short is, if you sell a product if you sell a clone of a product that's not an open source design, you're honestly a piece of shit. That's how I feel. If you buy BL Touch clones and you're telling other people to buy BL Touch clones, then you're just being a dick. You're taking money from Ant Collabs, which is another small company, and you're supporting these people that are literally just ripping off designs and have not done any R&D on them, and they're not open source. Now, if BL Touch was open source, by all means, they put it out there, then anybody can make them, and there's no shame in using clones. However, they're not. So, like people tell me, like, obviously, I'm very partial to the ABL kits we sell, the Easy ABL. However, if I see somebody asking about a BL Touch, I will tell them, if you're hell-bent on buying a BL Touch, then get the original. Do not buy the clones. One, they're junk. I've have a couple clones here that have been sent to me as samples that I've tested, and they're terrible. They're absolutely terrible. The build quality is terrible. The wiring that comes with them, one of them, half the pins weren't even fully soldered to the board. There's just really crappy QC, and the fact is that they're a stolen product. You can say, you can try to skirt around the fact however you want. If you buy a BL Touch clone, you're supporting intellectual property theft from Ant Collabs, which is the original, and they actually hold a patent on it. They're the original ones that made the BL Touch. So if you want a BL Touch and you're hell-bent on it, you don't want to buy, our Easy ABL kit or DIY or something, buy a genuine BL Touch. Spend the extra money and support the original creators so they can keep developing it. Now, I will say, and I'm not going to show them, but I have made an offer to E3D just like I look at us selling the V6 clones, if you want to call them. I hate the word clone because they're open source, so it's a third party, in my opinion, because they provided the designs and put them as, commercial, non-commercial use. So it's just, they're not making it. It's the same product, essentially. They're just not making it. So it's third party. Now, I'll sell those all day, and I like them, and I make sure to maintain quality over the, third party parts we sell. However, if you're just straight up ripping them off like some of these other people are doing, it's not good. I was going somewhere else with that, but I lost my train of thought. So, but yeah, the clones are for the BL Touches. They're bad. If you want a BL Touch, then get a BL Touch. Don't buy the clones. So, I'm just, let's see here. Yeah, 50 micron. That's not terrible, but it's not good. I mean, I see like 0.003 millimeters on average across my machines. I always get 0.01 or less on all of our machines here running our kits. So yeah, is there any other 3D printer news I missed? We covered the Ender 3s and their connectors. I'm also going to look at the Geeetech printers that use those connectors too to see if they're going to suffer from the same fate of those XT60s breaking or melting down, I should say. Shadow King, yes, it does. That machine has been supported for a long time. And we actually have the Easy Out. If you're wanting a filament sensor on that machine too, we have a plug-and-play kit for that as well. And that does need the bootloader, so just follow the bootloader information on our site. You can go to bootloader.th3dstudio.com to find all the information on the bootloader. Matt, any news on the M3D? So, M3D finally delivered their printer. Let's talk about that. Let's go on a little aside here. So, we backed the M3D Crane Quad on their Fit for Launch site, which is owned by M3D. So M3D launched their own crowdfunding site for their own crowdfunded printer, which I think is shady. But anyways, we did actually get it, and it is 100% a Creality machine. So I'll show you guys some pictures. Now, I am not going to recommend anybody buy this printer because it was promised to be delivered in August, and we literally got it a couple days ago. We also were told on the 4th that our printer was packaged and waiting to be picked up on the 4th, yet the printer we got the other day said it was tested. It has a QC label on it saying that it was tested on January 7th. So this company has been just feeding us strings and strings of lies and complete BS. So do not support M3D. I'm not going to feature it or do a review of it on the channel because I don't want anybody being tempted to buy it. But I had made a comment that I thought it was the, what's the word I'm looking for? I made a comment that I thought it was a Creality machine. Let me sort by date here. You can see I was trying to send a video and ended up just getting a bunch of pictures of myself because I held it. Nope, that's not it. Let's, come on, let's open this with an image viewer. Can we do that? Photos, there we go. All right, so this is the bed on the M3D printer. It literally says Creality3D.cn. It is a Creality rebrand. And you can see here, it was inspected on 1/7/2019 when they told us that it was shipped out or ready to be shipped on the 4th package. So my question is, how did you guys package a printer? How did you guys package a printer on the 7th and when it was already supposedly packaged up and ready for pickup on the 4th? So, and we have here, I think this is the email here. So my wife was getting on them because I was tired of dealing with them. So they said here on January 4th, Friday, "Hi Samantha, thank you, blah, blah, blah. Your Crane Quad is already packaged and awaiting pickup." So how the hell did you package, how the hell did you package a machine on the 4th, but then write the 7th on it? You didn't. It's because it was never packaged on the 4th. It was packaged on the 7th. So, yeah, I don't buy anything M3D. I regret ever backing it because it ended up being something I was excited about to now something I just hate, and I've spent $650 on, and I'm just probably going to let it sit. Or honestly, I might just part it out and take the Duet board out of it. But it's just, I don't know, it sucks because it could be a really great machine, but I don't want to have anybody, I don't want to have anybody putting their money up and then be waiting and waiting and waiting and being fed a string of lies about when the printer will actually ship like we were. So I can't recommend it, you know. And it was shown off. They originally were using a Malian, can't remember the model number, but they were using a Malian machine, which was a little bit nicer than the Creality, but now it's a Creality machine. So if I wanted, it's essentially an Ender 3 with a Duet board and a quad head. If I wanted an Ender 3 with a Duet board and a quad head, I would have bought an Ender 3 and put a Duet board in it and bought their quad head. So it was kind of a bait and switch there. A little salty about it if you can't tell. So thanks for bringing that one up, Matt. So what else do you guys want to talk about? What's going on in the 3D printing world that I missed? Because I've been trying to keep up with everything on top of moving. I've been seeing a lot of issues with the CR10S Pro, or is it the CR10S? Whatever the CR10, I think it's the CR10S Pro with the new one with the base. Seeing a lot of people having issues with their ABL sensor, which amuses me. I'm not gonna lie. Wish they would have like reached out and been like, "Hey, can you help us with this?" Because that would have been great to team up with them. They open sourced CR10. The CR10 design is all open source now. So that's good. I mean, kudos to them. I'm happy to see that. And then I have a CRX sitting here as well, and a CR20, and the Ender 4 and the Ender 5. Those are all machines I have yet to unbox. So yeah, we're just printing away, can see our ABS printers back there are both working. Yeah, no, I made sure to retweet it on our Twitter and make some noise about it because, they felt last time when they did Ender 3, there wasn't a lot of, not a lot of community feedback and excitement over it. So I wanted to make sure that, they realize that we're paying attention, that we do appreciate it. Hans Christensen from Autodesk and making Fusion 360. I need to watch those because we have a 360 license that we pay for. TH3D has one that we pay for, and I need to learn how to use it because I kind of just fumble through it. Oh yeah, Murph. If you guys are not even in the area, you don't mind traveling, there's Midwest RepRap Festival. It's a yearly festival that happens. It's actually out here in Goshen, Indiana, so it's about an hour from where we're at. And it's a huge 3D printer festival, and TH3D is a gold sponsor. So our logos are going to be on all the T-shirts, all the marketing materials. We're going to be an official sponsor. We were a sponsor last year. I wasn't able to get in at one of the higher level sponsors where we could get our logo and stuff on the shirts and the other swag. But we were able to get in this year at the higher level. So we'll have a more premium spot. So we're not going to be tucked off in the corner like we were last time. So if you guys have the money to make it out to Murph, I highly recommend it. If anybody wants to come out, because like I said, we're only an hour from there. If you want to come out a day or two early, there's a ton of hotels around by us. And you're more than welcome to come over and check out the shop. Hopefully by Murph, we will have the shop open. So my plan is once we get the actual shop done, meaning we're moved into the office and the rest of the building is insulated and our HVAC and stuff is in, I want to basically throw an open house for everybody. Just have an open invite, for a day where everybody comes over. I want to get a bunch of, good food and meat and, drinks for those over 21 and just have a good time and everybody hang out and, just meet each other and have a good time. So I want to share our success and, give back and, have everybody over, just have an open invite so everybody can come out. And I love meeting the people that we, sell products to, interact with. It'd be nice to see everybody. So obviously we're not going to get everybody, but I hope a decent amount of people show up. We're thinking end of March, early April. I don't think I want to schedule it the same weekend as Murph because we're going to be there, but maybe a little before. Oh, sorry. What's your feeling on Klipper? I haven't messed with Klipper enough to have an opinion on it. My extent of messing with it was, I'm going to add it onto my Pi installation, and played with it and just had a hell of a time getting it working, so I went back to Marlin. Yeah, definitely lots of food. Like, I want to feed everybody like an Italian grandmother. Like, I want to grill. I want to have some good snacks. Have some party games and stuff. Have some music. Definitely want to put some big speakers in the shop. But basically have just a party for everybody. It'd be awesome. We can all geek out and talk about machines. Maybe do a couple giveaways. Well, not maybe. I'm definitely going to do giveaways at the open house. And I'm definitely thinking, like, we're going to give away a printer type of giveaway. Like, maybe an artillery. Just saying. Hint, hint. So, yeah. I love giving stuff away. So if we weren't so crazy with orders right now, I would do a giveaway. Our neighbors will be thrilled. I wonder what our neighbors think of us, because I'm pretty sure they're wondering why the hell are these people spending so much time in the garage when they got this house that they just moved into. The Black Easy ABLs. So I have a small quantity. It was a test run to test the coating out of the same sensors. They're just black, all blacked out. So I'm going to do a giveaway on the next few streams once I get more settled in here. And we're not going to sell them. They're only going to be able to be gotten through giveaways. So we have all blacked out Easy ABL sensors. They look sexy. The problem was with our supplier found out it's very hard for them to make the coating. So we're not going to have them as a regular stock. However, I am I made mention that we are working on a new revision. So we're going to be working on basically a new board, and I'm going to try to get these sensors made in black for the next revision. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to do it, but we're still working out the logistics for that. But for now, for at least the next, 4 to 5 months, we're going to be, the kits we're selling now are going to be the kits that we're going to be stocking. So there isn't a mini one. I've only got full size 18 millimeters. So yeah, we will make a big deal about the open house. We'll post it everywhere, literally everywhere. We'll send an email out about it. We'll post it on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, everywhere. So the B stock is literally just a sensor. You still need a board and everything. And there's zero support if you buy just a sensor. We have those because we have a small quantity of sensors where there might be cosmetic defects, but the sensor works, and I'm not comfortable shipping out stuff with cosmetic defects on a full product. So instead of sending them back to the supplier, we test them just like we do, and then we sell them individually at a discounted rate. So you need more than just that. And we will be listing B stock kits, meaning discounted kits that are either, customer returns that there's nothing wrong with them, or ones that, we take the cosmetic defect sensors and we make full kits out of them. But again, those will not be including support. So just be aware of that. Anything B stock is 30-day on the warranty instead of our 90-day, and there's no support included. We basically have the B stock sensors up there. So if you're out of warranty and you're comfortable with just, swapping a sensor out, whether it's cutting the cable and, splicing the wires in, or, even desoldering it, you can get a sensor for cheap out of warranty. I'll make sure I send that email 5 times to Mr. Ben. I'll make sure he gets it 5 times. Just so he's very aware of what's going on. Let's see here. Come on, guys. I'm sure you guys got questions. Ask away. Come on, rapid fire. Put them in the chat. Even if it's something quick, pop them in. Let's chat. That's the point of this. You guys got questions? I might have answers. Tronxy X5SA. I've never used that printer, so I'm not sure. Not sure if I have not messed with that machine, and honestly, Tronxy machines have been going downhill. I would not recommend people buy any of their newer ones. X5S was like the last one I could recommend because it was cheap and you could put a couple $100 into it and make it an amazing printer. But their newer stuff has just been dropping the ball. Where's Tor? Tor's in California. I wonder if he's watching. Oh, flex plate magnets. I have them. So what is holding me up is I'm trying to figure out how many magnets we need per plate. So I have them on my CR10, and I have them on my Ender 3. I'm just trying to figure out the placement of the magnets and how many magnets, depending on your bed size, you need. Because I put too few on, and then I had to put more on, so I'm trying to figure out the placement. I've been thoroughly testing the temperature limits on them, and even at 100°C, they're holding up. So the magnets, in terms of temp resistance, are great. I'm just trying to figure out, so you guys can have a drop down, select your bed size, and then it'll give you the appropriate quantity of magnets. I'm going to also have to include some very large disclaimers in the boxes with these, because these are seriously strong magnets. I was playing with one, and this is actually the second, or no, I have 2 of our Don't Touch Your Bed Probit shirts, and I bought a first one because I was playing with the magnet, and it caught my shirt, and it literally crimped a hole in my shirt. The magnets touching together were so strong, they crimped a hole in my shirt. Yeah, so it's, they're amazing, but you seriously have to be careful with them, because if you slam them together, they can spark and they will probably break, and they're not cheap, but they work great. I'm just, like I said, I want to document everything. Like, if you have this bed, here's where we recommend you put them, type of thing, if that makes sense. And like I said, with the move, everything's been on hold. I would anticipate by the end, that's why I was saying the printers, I want to shoot for the end of January, because then by that time, by that time, we're going to have more people helping us out, and we're going to be running smoother, and I'll be able to focus on stuff like that. So we're hiring more people on the entry level side and the higher level side, so that way my time can be freed up more, so I can focus more on getting firmware developed for machines, working on new products, and just taking a lot of load off me. Because honestly, guys, I am incredibly stressed out. I'd be lying if I said I'm not stressed out. And like honestly, the business has been taking a toll on my wife and I's relationship, and luckily she's very understanding. And it's just I get to a point where I am just exhausted, and I go off for little things and make her feel like crap, and I want to stop doing that, and I need to hire somebody. Sorry. I want to hire somebody to help alleviate the pressure on me, because I'm at the point where I can't do everything on my own. And at this point, it's just burning me out, and it's not good for anybody. Especially my relationship with my wife. So, sorry. But yeah, I've been trying to work on, disconnecting. Like last night, we stopped working at like 9 o'clock and spent some time together. And we want to keep Sundays open for, time for us to spend together. But yeah, so I don't have a drinking habit yet, but well, yeah, I don't think I could. So yeah, point is I need to hire more people. And, we're luckily at a point where we can afford it and not cut things too close. But I need to hire more talent, and we've been very thankful to find help within the community. I am down for hiring people from within the community that have helped us out and that are good people. So it's pretty awesome that we can now create real jobs that pay, real salaries for people that have, helped us out and get to where we're at. It's awesome. So, yeah, sorry I got a little emotional there. It's kind of, I was expecting to kind of get choked up there, to be completely honest. Steve's asking, does the tough extruder work with flexible filament? Yes, it does. Now, if you're going to do a Bowden setup and not a direct drive, I would highly recommend getting the tough tubing, because it's got that 1.9 millimeter internal diameter, and it's going to make much less slop in the tube versus your stock stuff. So yeah, it's rough, guys. I mean, it's not all sunshine and roses here. I'm very thankful for what we have and what we've accomplished in just this short year. And it's been a learning experience. It's hard sometimes for me to detach and say, here, this is like TH3 is like my child, and it's like hard to be like, here, take care of my child for me and make sure it doesn't die. And it's really tough. And I know the guy that we're bringing on, and we will make an announcement when he's ready for us to make that announcement. But I know he's going to do a good job, and he's very passionate about this stuff. And I know he needs a change of pace. He's kind of stuck in a job where he has nowhere to go. And hopefully he can stay with us and grow with us and share in the success as we grow, which should be really great. Yeah, our Easy ABL will be supported on the Ender 5. I can tell you with 110% certainty it will be supported. I literally just need to get our machine built and get the firmware finalized. Yeah, it's not a matter of will it work. Yes, it absolutely will. It's just I need time to get it built and get the firmware finalized for it. Let's see. I use tough tubing with the Super Creality hot end. I'm pretty sure I'm getting jams from heat creep. Just the fact that the tough hot end has a larger heatsink helps keep that heat creep at bay. I have no issues with them, and I know what you're talking about because I've had issues with heat creep. You can also try, if you're looking for a lower cost, upgrade. We sell the titanium heat breaks, which are just a heat break replacement for the stock Creality hot ends. And we have that, and I think we're going to outfit our Ender 3 ABS farm with that setup. So tough extruder, easy ABL, solid mounts, Meanwell power supply, and the titanium heat break with the tough tube. So that's going to be like our standard loadout for our ABS machines. And then we're going to be getting rid of the stock fans, and we're just replacing them right off the bat because I've had too many issues where I've left the stock fans and then a month later I forget to check on them, and then I have a massive failure in the hot end because the fan died. So we're just replacing them with the ones we sell right off the bat. Thanks, everybody. Tim, we want to stay under 900 shipped in the U.S. And we're only going to ship to the U.S. and Canada to start out with, so I apologize for anybody outside of that. But it's a big machine, and we're not ready to handle logistics on a large item like that going outside of the continental North America, you know. Core XY versus Cartesian XY. Honestly, so in theory, Core XY should be more accurate and faster. In practice, I've had both. And each machine, if you spend the time to build it correctly and dial it in, you can get the same level of print quality out of a good Cartesian versus a Core XY. You know, the Core XY, you're just able to run a little faster than a Cartesian just because of the kinematics of the system. But like I have Wanhao D6, which is a Cartesian XY where the bed drops down. And that printer prints great. My only complaint with it is they use a ribbon cable, and it's down right now because the ribbon cable broke for like the 5th time. So I'm going to basically be replacing that with standard wiring. Yes, you can adjust the stepper current. Look up on this channel here for the VREF adjustment. It's the same process. I would recommend, if you want to be on the safe, you can run them a little high. The worst case is your motors run a little warm, which is fine. Stepper motors can handle a lot of heat, and by a lot of heat, I mean 90 C on average. So I would recommend putting the X at 0.8, Y and E at 0.9, and then Z I usually run a little hot at 1.0. Just because I don't want my Z to have issues, especially once you get out of bed leveling in the mix and it's doing these very minute moves. You want a lot of torque. What computer setup are you using GPU? Well, right now I'm on my laptop, which is a 6700 HQ, GTX 1070, and 32 gigs of RAM, and it's got a 256 gig NVMe drive for the OS, and then I've got a 2 terabyte solid state hybrid. I put this MSI. I put this together almost 2 years ago, maybe a year and a half. I haven't had it for 2 years. It's barely 2 years old. But my desktop, which is waiting to be set up, that's the one I did the couple streams on. Got the 9900K. I upgraded from the 4790K to the 9900K because the 4700K was just tanking when I was doing the video editing. And that's got a 1080 Ti. Yes, heat sinks on a stepper motor are absolutely a waste of money. Your stepper motors, even the cheap ones, you can run up to 80 degrees Celsius. To give you an idea, the ones on my AM8, which is right here, this machine has 15,000 hours of print time on it, and those steppers run at about 65 to 70 degrees Celsius, and they work perfectly fine. I'm not sure what you mean by computer you suggest. For the Tronxy X5S, I'm not sure what you mean. The Railcore looks awesome. Those guys are actually Project R3D, I think it is, or RE3D. They're not far from us, and they've actually reached out, so we might be partnering up with them in some capacity, whether it's them using products we have or us even carrying them and helping them build them out. Yeah, so if your e-motor runs hot, that's a valid point. If you're using a standard extruder and your e-motor runs hot, the drive gear is going to heat up and melt the filament or deform it. What I do is I've noticed when I run the geared extruders, like the tough extruder, that doesn't happen because that gear, the shaft for the motor, has a metal gear on it, and then that drives the composite gear, which has a feeder gear, so no heat from the shaft can get transferred from the motor shaft into the actual part that's driving the filament. So you don't have any issues with the motor heat affecting your filament. What benefits does solid bed mounts give? It just gets rid of the springs. So, issues I've had in terms of like stuff that's pretty common is as you're printing, those knobs or the things can just loosen up as the printer vibrates and moves. The bed can still shift a lot, and you're still going to have to mess with it. It just gets rid of that factor in addition to really stiffening up the bed because you're bolting it then to the build plate with those aluminum. Like if you're using ours with the aluminum in them, you're getting a full, like it's just stiffening up the whole bed, so there's less play in it. So you're not getting any sort of wobble from the springs, and you're not going to have to worry about that. I actually recommend putting some Loctite or super glue on your bed knobs or nuts. You can take the bed knobs off and use like on the CR10 M4 nuts. So, and then just tighten them down and never have to think about the bed springs again. How's my Wi-Fi going? Our Wi-Fi is up and running. That's what I'm using to stream right now. I'm using the Ubiquiti Nano HDs. Stepper smoothers are functional, but you have to have a machine that has the salmon skin issue. Now, my Ender 3 has a salmon skin issue, and I'm actually going to be doing a video showing a before and after of what the effect of the smoothers do. So the smoothers, now let's say you put them on a machine that doesn't typically need them, like the CR10 doesn't typically need them. If you put them on there, it's not going to hurt anything. So if you buy them and put them on your printer, it's not going to hurt anything. But Ender 3s can benefit from them, the A10s, the 4988s, DRV8825s, those can benefit from the smoothers. Especially I've noticed the Allegro 4988s and the 4982s, which is the 4982 and the 4988 are basically the same chip, just different package. If they're on 24 volts, the salmon skin can come out. But it basically has to do with your motor's coil inductance and the stepper driver and the voltage driving them. I could totally geek out about that. But basically, if your printer has a salmon skin issue, then the smoothers should fix it. And the ones with 8 diodes on them, some of them have 4, and I've used the 4 and the 8s, and the 8s work better. The 4s work okay, but the 8s almost completely get rid of any sort of salmon skin. If we're talking TiVo Tornado type machines, their power supplies are also a really bad culprit, and I'd recommend replacing those. I would be interested in going to CES next year. I would not want to vend there or have a booth, but I would like to go. It would seem like it's right up my alley. Let me see here. Mike, can you rephrase your question? Mike Sutherland, I'm not quite sure what you mean. I don't know if you're on a mobile device or something, but the sentences aren't making complete sense. Matthew Kennedy, can you out a fan on the top of the extruder to cool the assembly? You could, or I'm assuming you mean can you put, yeah, you could. I had the Anycubic Delta, and I should not have put a smoothie board on it. That's why I ended up getting rid of it, because I had so many issues with trying to get smoothie dialed in. I had a BL Touch on there, which is also another problem. I could never get the BL Touch working correctly, even after swapping out 3 times. I'm just reading the chat here, that's why I'm like staring off in the distance. The only Deltas I've seen that really kind of make me want to buy one are the CME CNC ones. They're higher price. I think they're around $900 to $1,000, but they are beautiful machines, and they're made in the US. So if you got the money and want a really nice Delta, they make some really nice Deltas, and they're actually here based out of Indiana, and they're the ones that sponsor Murph. Any thoughts on the Anycubic Chiron? I have no idea. I've seen it. I've seen a lot of good and a lot of bad, just like with any printer. I have not gotten one of those. I haven't actually bugged my Anycubic contact to see if they can send me one. The printer I'm selling is not a rebranded Creality. We are working with a small company. I'm sure you guys have seen. They have a different model that they're selling, but there's a company called Hesai, and they're a very big manufacturer of boards in China, and they're a smaller company. By big, I mean their volume, but they're a smaller company, and they're the ones doing basically our bare bones machine. So when we get the machine, we're going to have to do the PSU, all the fans, the wiring, fit our kit, the extruder, the hot ends, all that stuff on there. So they're basically doing the baseline, and then we're doing all the final assembly and QC and all the upgrades and testing here in the US. But I'm not going with Creality just because they couldn't, they're too big now to even pay attention to us because, they're not going to make changes. This company was very willing to make key changes to their machine because if you look up the artillery on AliExpress, you'll see some other machines. You might even see one that looks almost identical to ours. Ours are not because we've changed a lot of mechanical portions on it, including going dual Z on them, which required more brackets being made, different bearing setups, and other adjustments. So it is not a Creality machine, though. And I am running we're actually going to be running genuine WaterCot TMC 2208s on that machine. We're not going to be going with the cheap ones. Buy the WaterCot ones. I bought the Chinese ones. I see Vertebreaker is asking about them. Do not buy the ones from Amazon. Go to DigiKey and buy the TMC 2208 evaluation boards. Those are full step 6 drivers. We're going to be getting our drivers from DigiKey. So do not buy the Chinese 2208s. Let's see. You suggest a Core XY printer with all the accessories. I don't have a recommendation on a Core XY right now. I have seen that Railcore, which was mentioned, which is a higher end one. But the X5S is the one I had experience with, and with the upgrades, it was a good machine. Jack, the first thing to check is the M48 test. He's asking, he says seems he has to baby step a lot. So it could be a number of things. The first thing to do is to check your M48 tests and see if that's producing good result. If it's producing good result, then I would recommend looking through any sort of mechanical checks, because any sort of mechanical variances can compound and then cause the baby stepping to happen and then have to use it more. You shouldn't have to baby step more than 0.01 or 0.02 at the most. I barely have to touch any of ours. Most of our machines, I can hit print, and it just works. Just looking through here. When are we getting a dog, Samantha asks. I don't know. When are you going to let me get a dog? What's the duet board, Stephen Goodman is asking. Yeah, the duet board. It's just it's a 32-bit board. It's another open source board. If you guys look them up, Duet Board, PrintedSolid.com sells them. Yeah, I've played with the Feistek 2208s, and they just don't have the same level configuration pins, and they do not follow the standards for the rest of them. So I would recommend spending the extra $2 driver and buying the WaterCots. Let's see. Yeah, don't do G20. The M48 test is great for making sure everything's working. Yeah, I want a German Shepherd in the worst way. I love German Shepherds. Golden Retriever or Yellow Lab would be nice too, or Black Lab. I could print her a dog. I'll fire up Bertha, our Alphawise U10, and we'll print a dog. Yeah, my friend Cody, he actually has 2 German Shepherds, and they breed them occasionally. He's going to have puppies in April that are ready to be adopted. So I'm just saying. Get a German Shepherd puppy. I'm not sure what you mean by M48 is deceptive, Vertebreaker. It basically gives you a baseline to make sure that it's actually reading, because if you do M48 and then you're getting, high deviation, then, you need to start to figure out why you're getting the high deviation and go from there. You can do G28s and compare them too. That works fine, and those all should be within those same margins. We already have 3 cats, Matt, and we have the 2 litter boxes they poop in. We got those fancy like self-cleaning ones because I hate scooping litter boxes. German Shepherd can fit the entire crotch of intruder in its mouth. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. That's one of the other thoughts for getting a dog, other than the fact that I want a dog. Yeah, definitely, especially if Samantha's home alone. She's already been freaked out a couple times. Where it's like, if we had a dog, they're obviously going to be more alert than us and know what's going on. especially if we got someone creeping around outside the house. Yeah, we've had friends that have boxers. Boxers are nice dogs. Tamagotchi. I always killed my Tamagotchi. Somehow I keep the cats alive, though. Yeah, John, I feel the same way about kids, except I think it's longer than the first 2 years. It takes a while to train kids, I'm told. Still got like half this thing left. Yeah, my parents had golden retrievers, and yellow labs, and a couple mutts. They're all good dogs. Golden retrievers are great dogs, though. I would totally, if we can find a golden retriever that needs a home, I would gladly take golden retriever any day, or any lab, to be honest. All right, well, there's one gone. Let's see here. I'm assuming this is like 2 pint glasses here. Oh, maybe more. I don't know if it says how many ounces. Oh, yeah, it says 2 pints right there. Maybe I should read. I'm pretty sure Samantha's in the opposite end of the house right now. Yeah, so we got any other questions? Wow, we've been streaming for an hour and 15 minutes already. The only thing I say I miss about being literally the only thing I miss about where we were in terms of location was there were so many like food places open until like 3 a.m. Except there's not much around here. There's a few places, but there was always this little like greasy spoon place we'd go to when it was late. So, but I'm sure we'll figure out something. What kind of chair? Which one are you talking about? This one? The one I'm sitting in, or the blue and white one I have here? Oh, I got this from Micro Center. It's an AK Racing. Now, however, I do not like it because it's comfy. Okay, so don't get me wrong. But the problem is, I've only had this chair for 6 months. And here, I'll show you guys. And why I won't recommend it is, this is what the sides of the chair look like after 6 months of use. Now, granted, I use this for 10 to 12 hours a day, but I'm sorry, I shouldn't be seeing the frame coming through the chair from rubbing up against it after only 6 months. Like, there's no padding here. So, I do not recommend the AK Racing. The one behind me, I can post a link to it. That one was only $60. And I got the extended warranty on it because I figured for $6 it was worth it. Amazon sells them. We still have the dual extruder boards. They're priced a little higher because we got hit with tariffs on them. So I don't think of anything worth. I think we have like 30 of them left. Last time I checked. Hang on, I'm grabbing the link to the chair. They're really comfy. For a $60 chair, I'm very happy with them. And they have them in all sorts of different colors too. They got blue and green. I told the new guy, I was like, I'm gonna get you a pink chair, and you're gonna have to sit in a pink chair while you work. So there we go. That's the blue chair. I want to get a racing chair from like DX Racer or something, and get it in black or blue and white with our logo on it. That'd be awesome, especially if we have streams. You know, like if we have our logo right here on the back headrest. I wonder what the warranty is like on this. Because here's the thing, I've already warranted this because the first one, something broke on it. What broke on it? There was a thing that broke on it, and I had to swap it out. So this is the second one of these chairs I've had in the last 12 months. There we go. That muted it. Yeah, so if anybody has any recommendations, because I don't mind spending a decent amount of money, but I can't, like, I think this one was $350, and, like, it shouldn't be wearing out this soon. I'm sure Samantha can pull up. Oh, the wheels. The wheels went out on it. So half the wheels were cracking and going out, and they just swapped out the whole chair. WF Rider is saying call tomorrow. Am I going to call AK Racing or call Micro Center? Because I got it from Micro Center. Obviously, I know they resell it because I've seen AK Racing sold elsewhere. I'm going to see what they have here. They don't sell gaming chairs anymore, apparently, unless I need to search by store. I'm on their web store. Let me change to the... Okay, they're only in store, that's why. Yeah, I have the Overture, which is apparently $199 now. I paid almost $350 for this chair. That's really unfortunate. That's gone down that much in price at this point. Is this the Overture? Yeah, this is the Overture. AK Racing Overture. This is the chair I have right now. Yeah, we definitely paid $350 for this chair. I mean, comfort-wise, I have no complaints with it. It's comfortable, but it just looks like crap. And I don't have that, like, I've got a lot of stuff. And I don't know why some people think we just have lots of nice things, but I don't have that many nice things. And my chair was one of the nice things that I had. And it's just like, I look at it and I spent $350 for it and the sides look like this. It's just really, it's really disappointing. I mean, hopefully you guys can understand why I'd be disappointed. Especially since it's not even on sale. It's just the standard price is $199. That's ridiculous. 5-year chair, 10-year frame. Maybe I'll call them again. I mean, it's like, what am I going to keep swapping this out until I get one that doesn't break in less than a year? I'm going to call Micro Center and see what they say. Yes, this is 5 years. Yeah, I was going to buy another chair, but the fact that it's got a 5-year warranty on it, I'm not going to spend more money on chair. We've been spending a lot of money, and, you know, I need to not pinch every penny, but I don't want to be wasting money. You know what I mean? Okay, I'll try calling AK Racing because I really don't want to drive back to Micro Center. Yeah, if you guys know of any other companies, I know DX Racer. No, you're not wrong. I need to lose weight. I'm like 270 right now. I'm the highest I've ever been. I'm sure. I mean, I don't drink. Honestly, I think I have like maybe 3 beers a month, if that. I don't drink a lot. But I'm sure my diet definitely needs an overhaul. Which actually, my buddy, what the hell is his name? It's my Canadian buddy. I'm like drawing a blank on his name right now, which is really bad. If he's watching, he's gonna yell at me. But one of my buddies, I paid him to actually do a diet plan for Samantha and I because I need to lose weight. And then I can force her to diet with me too, because then it's not like she's going to be eating like delicious food. And then I'm, eating diet. But my buddy Bobby, yeah. So, yeah, I'm sure the fact that I don't have much sleep. Yeah, let's just list stress, lack of sleep, crappy diet. Let's just pile it on. So hopefully once the new guy starts on the 21st, things will start moving a little smoother and I can actually have a personal life and have some time to just, like I used to game a lot. I shouldn't say a lot. I used to game, a couple times a week, and I honestly miss jumping online with my friends and playing some video games, and I haven't done that in forever. Yeah, you would 100. Yeah, if I'm doing a diet, you're doing a diet too, Samantha. I did keto. Keto before it actually worked. I was in 2012. I was 205 pounds, and I looked amazing. Yeah, keto. Yeah, keto was good, and plus, then it gave me an excuse to eat steak and bacon and all sorts of delicious meats. I can never be a vegetarian. Bacon and steak are just too delicious. Oh, tacos. I want some tacos. Actually, I was going to eat something. Well, that's different. I can't be pregnant. You can diet too. I can't be pregnant. I'm a guy. Although it is 2019, so maybe I could be. What's up, Jerry? I didn't know you watched our channel here. Jerry's a longtime friend of mine. I met him through like the car groups, and then we overlapped again when I was into the vaping scene, which I'm no longer a part of. They're too douchey. Yeah, she's like going through the list of all these things. Well, I'm not gonna be able to do this when I'm pregnant. I'm not gonna be able to eat that. I'm like, oh, it sucks. Yeah, keto works. I've done it before. It sucks though when you're first getting into it because you just feel not like crap, but you just feel angry. It's a very common thing if anybody's done keto. It's you get very irritable while you're adjusting to it. Oh, I need the Pro X for larger frame people. You can just say it. It's for fat gamers. Yeah, carb rage. Yeah, I do know. Yeah, because you're basically keto. You're putting your body into ketosis, which is harmful for your kidneys if you do it long term. Keto rage. Okay, so everybody knows what I'm talking about. Yeah, I did it. I did it one time, and it was just I did a lot of chicken breast and turkey, bacon, and a little bit of steak, but it worked. I'm not a big person with sugar. I don't have a big sweet tooth. Yeah, I'm just reading the comments here. Does Recaro make actual desk chairs now? I know they make seats for cars because that's what they're known for, but I did not look to see if they actually do gaming chairs. Because this chair is comfy. I'll give it that. It's comfy. It's just the appearance just looks bad. Okay, I'll have to check into that. As long as it's not too expensive. I don't want to be spending a ton of money. As long as it will last, I have no problem spending the money. And I mean by last, I mean I want to get 5-6 years out of it at least. I haven't had cinnamon rolls in a while. I'll get them sometimes when we go to Aldi. They have the tubes of those. Those are delicious. Getting a triple bacon cheeseburger and not being able to eat the bun. I mean, let's be honest. If you got the cheese and the meat and the bacon, I can forego the bun. Swift Rick says, I own Ender 3. I own Ender 3, so I decided to also get a G-Tech A20M for some dual extrusion fun. I think so. I have one sitting here in the box. I did not get a chance to do an unboxing and a review on it before we moved, but I have one, and it looks nice. I've seen a lot of good stuff about the A20M. I'm not looking for a free chair. AK Racing will send me a free chair. I mean, I don't want to get a free chair. I'll pay for my chair. Yeah, the A20M is a little bit more robust and polished than the A10M. The A10M is not a bad machine, but if you want a little more polish and something a little more compact and, you know, everything's in that nice under box area with the screen down there. It looks nicer. It's more professional looking. Yeah, Jerry, I don't want your used chairs that you've been sitting in for the last 10 years. Let's see. Yeah, I'll have to look at that. I've heard of intermittent fasting. I don't know what it is. I'll have to see what qualifies as intermittent fasting. Western bacon cheeseburger lettuce wrap, not because of keto, because allergic to yeast. Oh, that sucks. I know they're well broken in. You're a bigger guy than me, so I know they're very well broken in. Or maybe you used to be a bigger guy, because I know you've been losing weight. So maybe not anymore. Yeah, no, I agree. So Adam Thomas says, for you, a good chair would be worth the cost, like $250 boots for people that spend all day on concrete. I absolutely agree. And that's why I thought I was getting a good chair by buying this. But yeah, so it's not holding up, though. I just, like, is it too much ass that it just holds up cosmetically? Like, it works. The chair works. It's fine. I can sit in it. It's comfortable. But it's just like, come on. Oh, okay, you're still a little more than me, though. I don't know how much you were at, but I know you were hitting the gym, Jerry. I played with the UBL, and the thing is, I found is that because UBL stores your mesh and you can, you know, make the adjustments. The problem is as your printer heats and cools and heats and cools and heats and cools, or if you still have, you know, the springs on the bed, eventually that mesh is not going to be valid anymore, because every time you go through a heating and cooling cycle on your printer, the bed slightly changes every single time, unless you have like a really high-end bed, like something made out of a Mike 6 aluminum plate. You know, it's that's why I don't like using it. I'd rather just run a probe every time and know that I have a fresh mesh. Let's see here. Yeah, it's a good short chair in the short term, but I mean, it was $350. It's not cheap. You know, I know it's not $800, but it's like, come on. All right, Matt, you take it easy. Matthew Kenny, why, if the extruder is correctly calibrated, you have to tune the flow multiplier? There can be multiple reasons. Either if your extruder tension is too high, it can actually be flattening and skewing that result. Or the most common is every single roll of filament is going to have a slightly different diameter. So you might have to tune the flow rate based on, let's say it's a little undersized or a little oversized. If it's a little oversized, you're going to extrude a little too much. If it's undersized, you're going to extrude a little too little. So that's why you can play with your flow rate to get that dialed in. For the most part, you shouldn't have to do too much if you're using quality filament. That's another one of the reasons why we switched over to this company called Coex. They're at Coex, Coex, LLC.com. You could change the filament size, but I recommend just doing the multiplier. So Coex LLC, I just posted a link there. That's who we use for our product filament. I've been very happy with them. And they're very consistent with their diameter. Their spooling is great. Their colors are great. So typically, most higher quality filaments, you're paying for a more consistent diameter across the entire roll. So in theory, yes. Yeah, maybe I need to actually post the full link. CoexLLC.com. Is that clickable? That should be clickable.
It is usually defined as enough. The expression is usually defined as used to express dismissal.
Apparently, the Echo thought I was talking to it. Alexa, stop. 3 Solutech I've had good results with. Although some rolls I've gotten from them, the filament's very wavy and not straight. It prints okay, but it's very wavy. Yeah, my Alexa was just all on its own talking to me for some reason. So, yeah, naughty child. I have not configured it with the Gen L for that Ender 3, but if you look at the configuration underscore th3d.h file, you will see our custom machines defined in there. So that should give you an idea of how to basically set up a custom printer in there. Just look at our configs for our printer. So like my CR10 has MKS Gen 1.4 in it. I have a Gen L in one of our other machines. But basically just look at how we put all the configuration lines in a block like that. So if you look at the top, you'll see how it's all structured. But basically just make your own block and put all your config options in there. Basically use the same one. So like look at one of our custom machines, like our CR10, and see what variables we put in that would normally be in the configuration.h, and put those in for your machine with your values. And then any other defined statements you need for those TMC228s if you're doing them in UART mode. And it's that simple. Then you'll get all the baseline config if you do it like that, if that makes sense. Yeah, like Reasonable Being said, he's been to COEX. They've invited us to go up there. I will be going up there. They are good people and they know what they're doing. They're very passionate about their plastics. I am going to be carrying filament, and I'm going to have COEX make our filament for us. So we will be stocking filament in the next few months here, since we have the space now, and we're going to have it made by COEX right here in the US. Let's see. Use a lot of Ziltech. I've had a lot of bad experiences with Ziltech, mainly consistency across batches, meaning I had a couple batches of black PLA I bought from them, and one completely stringed like crazy, one was perfectly fine. Their filament diameter is okay. It's not great, but it's okay. I have a hard time recommending them because there's a lot of other cheap filaments out there, but I know a lot of people like them. I personally will not use them because I can't afford, if I'm using them, it's because I'm trying to save a couple bucks a roll, but in reality, I'm not willing to take a gamble on getting a large batch of them and them screwing up our production line because, oh, well, there was a bad batch that slipped through and they weren't aware of it. I don't want to be the guinea pigs just to try to save a couple dollars a roll. I'd rather buy a US made filament from a smaller company that has very good QC, because all Ziltech is doing is just selling Chinese stuff with their name on it, which is fine, but you get what you pay for is what it comes down to. Yeah, no, Blake asked, if you do the bootloader, do you have to go through the process of wiring everything up to update it later? No. Once the bootloader is on the printer board, you can then update your firmware over USB from there on out, unless you screw up a flash and have to reflash the bootloader. Yeah, and we do carry bootloader pre-flash. All the boards we sell in our shop, the Melzi board, which is their standard CR10 board or Ender 3 board, and the dual boards both come with the bootloader preloaded on them. There are filament, so Marlin does support filament diameter sensors, and you can do them. I have not used them because it hasn't been that big of an issue. Yeah, I would highly recommend making the switch to COEX. I order a couple rolls and see how you guys like them. Every single roll I've got from them, I have 92 of their rolls sitting now, because we just keep them in stock for our production stuff. We use their ABS and their PLA, and we're not even using their higher end stuff. We're just using their entry-level ABS and their entry-level PLA. Have been absolutely great. They just print like butter, and if you haven't printed with a higher end filament and you don't know what I mean by prints like butter, get yourself a roll and print it. The extrusion is just very consistent. It's very uniform. One of my complaints with some of the Chinese company like Ziltech and Inland is that color consistency throughout the roll. So let's say you got a big part and you're going to see the color. You know, part towards the beginning of the roll, it might be darker and then it lightens up and then it gets darker and you get like these banding of these color gradients throughout the print. So it's just kind of you're paying more for better quality checks and better plastic. And it's worth it. I do not regret switching them. We are paying more per roll than I was going through like Ziltech or another Chinese company, but I really feel like it's given us very consistent results, and it gives me confidence that when I hit print, it's going to print, and I'm not going to have all these weird issues, that I can keep using the same G-code I've been using across all the rolls. I'm not going to be having to play with temperatures or changing my retracts because, oh, well, this batch prints slightly different from the last batch. All their stuff is very consistent, and I'll pay extra for that consistencies, and they're a small company. They're U.S. based. The plastics are made in the U.S., and the plastic they're melting down to make the filament is U.S. plastic. So all around, you're supporting a U.S. company, you're supporting a small business, and I'll give them the extra money per roll any day because they put out a very good product. I typically run my coax right around 210 to 215. So I do run them a little hotter, but I have printed it down in the lower 200s, but it gives it a nicer glossy finish if you print it like 210, 215. But I love it. Every printer I throw it on, it just works. And like I said, when you're running production volumes here, I can't be trying to save $3 a roll and then half the time my prints are failing because this batch had issues. Like, that's my problem. PETG is going to feel softer than PLA if you're used to printing with PLA. PETG has give to it. That's just a property of the plastic. PLA is a very rigid plastic. PETG has more give to it, but it withstands higher temperatures. ABS has good impact resistance, and it has a little more flex than PLA. PLA is a very hard, brittle plastic compared to PETG and ABS. So if you're used to printing with PLA, PETG is going to feel soft because that's just the properties of the plastics. Well, Jerry, if you can get me like a picture or a model of it, I can sure print you up something. So what's been your biggest project you've done that's 3D printed to date? Yeah, I printed Atomic. Atomic's another good company, and I believe they're based out of Indiana as well. So, like, what's your guys' biggest project you've completed? Like, what's your biggest 3D printing project you've done, whether it's size-wise, time, etc. My next big thing is I'm going to print the leg lamp from A Christmas Story, and I'm going to print it full size so we can put it in the living room, and I can annoy my wife with it, and everybody can see it from our living room window. A ton of benchies. I have printed plenty of benchies. Yeah, Anthony, I know you do some cosplay parts. Did you ever get my S4 up and running that I gave you, that we traded? I traded my broken S4 for his broken Wanhao i3 Plus. That's awesome. Power wheel adapters to put ATV tires on your kids' power wheels. That's awesome. Oh, you got it up and running. Awesome. Yeah, I know. Yeah, Tor. So Tor did a helmet, and he forgot to measure, and it was too big. So he did this giant helmet. I think it was a Stormtrooper helmet, and it was too big. It didn't fit him. So if you're printing a helmet for yourself, make sure you measure first. D20s that hold dice. That's awesome. Jerry wants a full-size leg lamp. I'm going to do it. I know Samantha does not like that movie, but I'm going to print the leg lamp. I don't know if you guys can see it. I have... So this is the biggest print I've done today. This was, I think, 18 hours at a 0.5 layer height, and this is about 4.5 pounds of plastic. And this was actually done in Ziltech Clear. I had some rolls of it laying around, but this is 750% scale. So this is a big boy. You can actually read the text on the bottom there, and you can actually read hashtag 3D Benchy on the back. I'm going to drill out the bottom and put some lights because since it was 45 degrees on the bed, the infill is directly across. So I'm actually going to drill this out and put some RGB lights in here and have this on like our table at Murph, just flashing with RGB. So I thought that'd be pretty cool. Didn't do too bad on the overhangs despite the size of this thing. Overall, it's a good Benchy print. You can see it came out pretty nice. And it did this in 18 hours. This is what a big nozzle and a tough extruder will do. So I have this is done with the tough Volcano, or tough hot end with the Volcano high flow upgrade kit, and then a tough extruder pushing all that plastic. So yeah, this thing, it came out great. This was this came out on my Alphawise U10 that we modded. The smallest, I've done some really small parts on our, we have an Anycubic Photon here that I need to use more often, but I did a Benchy that was about that big. I have no idea where it's at now because it's so small. But yeah. Yeah, I have a 0.8 nozzle on there. It's a good balance between huge and, small, because I had a 1 on there and it was a little too unwildly to manage. Reasonable being, I am actually definitely going to be printing some organizational stuff on our large printer so we can organize our parts and other stuff. Because I was looking at those containers. Those are expensive. I'm looking at them like, I can definitely print these for cheaper. If I just do, 1 or 2 a day, we'll have a bunch of them. Just reading through the chat right now. You made a print of an Ender 3 with its own mini Benchy. That's awesome. It's like Printerception. Oh yeah, I forgot you got all those. I made Jerry a bunch of Nintendo Switch parts. That's good. So they're holding up really well. That was a couple of years ago. What do you mean ETA on Aero Tour? I just restocked those things. We had 15 of those. Those take a while to come in because apparently they're hard to machine. So I don't get too many in at a time. Yeah, fun. It's fun playing with big nozzles. The Foldertech FT6, I've been seeing it. It looks intriguing. I'm almost contemplating buying one, just because we have the space now for larger machines. I also want to build this year. I want to build a meter cubed printer. So literally, 1,000 by 1,000 by 1,000 print volume. Just to do put like a 2mm nozzle on it. I'll probably feed it. I was looking at getting one of those. What is it? There's a guy, I think he is out of Spain, but he makes an extruder. It's huge, but you can feed it raw plastic pellets, and I want to play with that. Okay. So you guys are just getting notifications for this now? Awesome. That's good to know they held up. And those I just did in PLA. Those were nothing, no crazy material. still waiting on my artillery prototype. I know everybody is, but I want to make sure everything's done right. I don't want to rush stuff out. I'm not like these other companies. Oh, we got a sub. Thanks, Tyler. I appreciate it. There you go. Got my little GIF going there. Yeah, that's weird. I don't understand how these notifications on YouTube. If you're subscribed, you should get a notification when we go live. Has a high-pitched sound that comes from the nozzle heating area. I've not seen that. I think maybe it's a fan? It's the only thing that should be making noise near the hot end. That's interesting, Ben. The Easy ABL shouldn't change your print quality. It shouldn't make it worse or better. The only thing I could think of, because he's saying he added the Easy ABL and his problems printing PETG disappeared. Unless you're talking about bed adhesion, which absolutely that will help. The only thing I think of is just the new firmware would help out with that. No, I'm not selling the shop artillery. The shop artillery is going to live on my desk, and that thing is going to be basically my little test bench. I'm going to have, so our print firm is going to be out here, and then eventually in the shop, like I was explaining. But I'm going to have a couple of machines in my office just for doing prototyping and testing, and our number 0 artillery will be on my desk, and I will never sell that. Yeah, so there's a printer called the Part Daddy that is at Murph. If you guys go to Murph, they usually bring the Part Daddy, which is I think it's like 18 feet tall. It's a Delta that's 18 feet tall, and it's got a 4mm nozzle on it. It's obscene, and it literally just prints. It's got a shop vac on it that sucks up plastic pellets from a 50-gallon drum into it, and then it's got an auger that pushes them down in. It's amazing. Good night, Adam. Thanks for stopping in. And thanks for that sub there, Swift Rick. I saw that. I forgot to mention. Yeah, here, let me show you guys. It's amazing. Here, see, I was trying to find AK Racing. Let's see. Part Daddy. Here we go. The world's largest 3D printer. Look at this thing. Like, it's amazing. Like, there's the hopper, and it pulls them up from these big garbage bins full of pellets. And they have this at Murph every year. It's just absolutely amazing. And the amount of plastic this thing is pushing out is insane. See the layer fan? It's just like a little crappy $5 fan from Walgreens. Look at that. Oh, it's so tall. Like, it's amazing. This is Barnacle video. If you guys want to check it out, go check out his channel. He's like asking Steve, who's the owner of CME CNC, he's like, can I get one of those chairs? And he's like, no. Like, it holds him up. I think he said in there he was like 350 pounds. He's like, yeah, it holds my weight. It's amazing. Like, I would love to have. I actually, at the last Murph, I asked him if he would sell me one of the prints, and he was like, he's like, I would, but he's like, I've given away and sold the last few prints. He's like, I want to keep a couple of these. So maybe I'll ask him this year if I can buy one of the big prints. Yeah, they have counterweights. They literally have weights, dumbbells on the arms to counterbalance the whole thing. It's crazy. And it's literally the exact same. It's the exact same electronics that are in your printer, except instead of the little tiny stepper drivers, he's got external stepper drivers that are about this big, and they drive these big honking NEMA motors. And yeah, it's just basically, it's literally a scaled up version of the printers we use. Any suggestions on adding an AC heater to a bed? Oh, hang on. I would say go with a Kinovo, get a Kinovo heating pad, and then I would control it with a solid state relay. There's multiple different relays you can get. I do not recommend, for safety reasons, getting any of the ones off Amazon because there's a lot of clones out there, especially the Photech brand. And then there's also just a lot of cheap SSRs. If you want a solid, no pun intended, if you want a solid state relay, we carry Mager brand in the shop, and I think they're like $12. And they're genuine Magers, so they actually do regulate the voltage that doesn't leak a ton of AC current like some of the cheaper ones. I think it's under 1 millivolt it leaks. Some of the other ones leak multiple volts of AC current, which are problematic if you have like our Easy ABL, because the sensor can pick up on that 60 hertz or 50 hertz signal depending on where you're at in the world. But I would just get the heating pad and then get a solid state relay. And if you look at our solid state relay page, there's actually a picture of it, and basically you just cut the wires going to your DC bed, you put those into the DC side of the solid state relay, and then you have 2 wires coming from your AC plug, 3 if you have a grounded one. I highly recommend doing a grounded one and then putting the ground wire with a little eye loop and bolted to the frame. And then you have your line and your neutral. So basically your neutral is going to get directly connected to one of the legs coming off of the AC bed, and the other leg from the AC bed is going to go to the output on the SSR, and then your line goes to the other one. So basically you have your DC that went to your bed is going to turn the SSR on and off, and then one of your AC legs goes into one terminal on the SSR, and then the bed connects to the other. And all the DC voltage then is doing is turning the SSR on and off and allowing that AC voltage to flow from the wall to the bed, which then regulates the heat. And then you can control it just like you would a DC bed. I'm not sure of any actual brands of couplers. We do carry our upgraded ones, but I know shipping can be pretty high to Australia, but we do carry ours, and I love them. We have their plumb style, so if you have like an ABL system and you're worried about, oh, well, what happens if the sensor fails? Like, because it could happen, and send my nozzle into the bed. Well, these will actually separate, and the motor will just spin, then it's not going to drive it full force into the bed. But SSR is the way to go for hooking up an AC bed, in my opinion, because otherwise there are ones with separate controllers, but then you can't control the temperature from the printer in your G-code. So, oh god, the cats on the hardwood floors are hilarious. You'll hear them at night, and we have our bedroom door shut, and you'll hear them scurrying, and then you'll hear them trying to stop, and then 2 seconds later there's a pile of cats hitting their bedroom door, and it's hilarious. Yeah, just for safety purposes, I don't care if you get them from us. Mager is a good brand. They're not the cheapest. They're not the most expensive. If you want something that's high-end, Misumi, M-I-S-U-M-I, they carry one, but you're going to pay about $30 for theirs. But theirs are very high-end Japanese-made. The Mager ones we have are made in China, but they're very good quality. As with everything, if you spend more money, it doesn't matter where it comes from, you can get a high-quality product. So just make sure you're not using the Photech brand. If you bought a Photech... If you bought an SSR and it says Photech on it, you got it from Amazon, I would put money on it that it's fake. And the problem with the fakes are, like, let's say they rate them at 40 amps. They actually only have a Triac in there that's rated for 10. So you might not max it out with your heated bed. But the thing is, it's going to run hot, and they don't put enough epoxy in there to prevent arcing on the AC side. So my thing is just stay away from those SSRs from Amazon. And go with an SSR that you know is a name brand and you know where it's coming from. We make sure we get genuine quality parts. Like all our Meanwhile power supplies are genuine Meanwhile power supplies. Our Mager SSRs are genuine Mager SSRs. That's one of the things why people buy from us, is we actually make sure that we're selling what we claim we're selling. And I make sure that we inspect everything, and I know what to look for in terms of clones, in terms of, like, especially the power supplies. And the power supplies and the SSRs and whatnot. Good night, Samantha. Are you gonna force Archer to cuddle with you? Yeah, I need to shave. It's been a while. I'm getting kind of scraggly. So, but I'm gonna wrap. We've been going for almost 2 hours now, so I'm going to give you guys another 5 minutes and ask any questions you want, and then we're going to wrap this up. you tell me what mesh leveling does during the printing process? Does it just help you level the bed, or is it used by the printer? So the ABL systems, or if you're doing like manual mesh leveling, what it's doing is it's going to vary the height of your nozzle while it's printing based on that mesh data, and your nozzle will actually move slightly up and down. And you can actually watch your Z motor turn a little bit, especially if you look at the coupler, you'll see it's more pronounced because the coupler's got a wider diameter than like your lead screw. But all it's doing is it's going to vary the height on your Z to make sure that it's at the correct distance to make your filament stick. That's the whole point of anything using, mesh bed leveling. And basically there's manual mesh leveling where you have to manually go through and move the nozzle down and get each data point. And that works, but it's very tedious. And when you put an ABL system like the one we sell, like the Easy ABL, the probe then does all that work for you. Yes, we are actually going to do a Creality upgrade board. Let me see here. I thought I had... And this is still a couple months out just because we are still doing testing on it. Hang on one second. And I actually need to... Hang on. Where is it? Come on. I'm trying to find where I was talking to my buddy who I'm working with on this. Where is it? Because he sent me pictures of the latest revision the other day. So here, let me switch back over. So this is the rear of the board, which is not interesting. So here's the front of the board. I haven't decided if we're gonna do white or not white, but either blue or black for the PCB. But this is the Eagle render of the PCB. So we got our LPC 32-bit processor here, your X, Y, Z end stop, bed temp, E temp, filament sensor header, 2 independently controllable fan outputs that can run on either your voltage input, that's why it says VIN, so 12 or 24, or for people that want to use 5-volt fans, we added that on since we already have 5-volt supply on the board. And then we've got a big beefy screw terminal here for the input. This is an always-on output for your fans, and then your hot end and your bed. And then these are all Trinamic 22.8 drivers that we are able to digitally control with a Digipot controller on the back, and then micro USB, your SD slot. Now, this will also work with the CR10S because we're going to have to go from this single port. We're going to have a board that will plug into the back of your LCD to allow you to drive that LCD that normally has 2 cables off the 1 cable, so it will be compatible. And if you notice this EXP1 header here and this power EXP, this is for future expansion for us to add on a second extruder output or hot end or just general expansion. There's a bunch of I/O pins on this header, and then we've got an XT30 here, which will allow us to have a jumper wire to go from that to the daughter board to give it power for like a hot end or whatnot. So we have enough amperage to actually, drive that hot end. So, but that we're talking at least 2 to 3 months out, if not more. And that's going to be a higher price board than the Creality dual boards because it's got a ton of features. It's going to run Marlin 2, and we're already working on the firmware for that. So, but the prototypes are being made right now, and we're sending one to Scott Latine, who's the Marlin developer. He's going to help us out with the firmware on that as well, since he's got a lot more experience with the 32-bit. And the important part is we also have to document all the process for actually compiling for 32-bit Marlin because it's completely different from the current stuff we're used to dealing with. So, ETA on the firmware support for the Ender 5, I would say about 2 to 3 weeks. So, I have the machine here. I just have to build it, and then literally once it's built, I should have the firmware done and tested in less than 8 hours. So I just look for the stream because I'll be doing a stream on that one, and then the firmware will follow shortly after that. Are you talking about the live chat, Jonathan, that we added on to the site? Yeah, honestly, I like 8-bit boards. We're doing 32-bit just so we have future-proofing in terms of, horsepower, and as new features come out on Marlin 2, we want to be able to actually use those. But honestly, guys, like 8-bit, if there's a lot that 8-bit can do. So, oh, that's awesome. Where was it? So, Jonathan, just curious, when you were talking with them, was that one of our? Because we have, so with our live chat, we actually pay a company that has a large network of agents, and they're all, it's not like an India outsourced farm. It's like just regular people that are native English speakers around the world, and they've familiarized themselves with our products and all of our documentation. And they've been doing a really good job. So if it was one of them, if it wasn't, then you would have been chatting with like Tor or Mac, because they're also on the live chat. So, but I'm just curious, because if the hired people that are external to us are helping out, that's awesome, because we've been giving them a lot of information. So they've been killing it. So if you guys have a business and you're looking for live chat, check out talk2tawk.to. They have a free live chat, free live chat for your site, but they make their money by you paying them for the support. So we pay a decent amount of money a month to have them basically staff our chat 24/7, 365. And then basically if you get to a point where there's a question that's above their level, they will then create a ticket for you in our system. And it's really great because we have live people 24/7 on our site to help people out. They also have access to our order system. So I set them up with a limited account so they can query and be like, hey, if you're messaging them, be like, hey, has my order shipped? They can go and check for you. You could technically use an old CR10 board to control mill, but honestly, you'd be better off going and buying like a Ramps board or an MKS board, because then you can use, then basically you can just use standard Marlin. You're a little bit more limited. It's personally, I wouldn't waste the time trying to modify all the little firmware inputs and outputs and different settings to run a mill. I would just go buy a different board. You can get an MKS board for like 30-40 bucks with all the drivers, and you can buy Ramps for around the same price, even on Amazon. So that's my input. You could do it, but is it worth your time? Probably not. All right, 2 more minutes, and then I'm gonna sign off. I'm gonna finish my beer here while we're waiting. It's pretty good. I got another one of these in the fridge. We were supposed to have them on New Year's, but we ended up not being able to have people over because there was just too much stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna call AK Racing tomorrow. I'm also gonna ask them if they can do custom chairs for us. This is definitely a little more than 2 pints. I'm not complaining though. Chug. I think my chugging days are over. I'm gonna be 30. Oh, and since it's the 11th, technically it's 12:29 a.m. here. I'm gonna be 30 in only 4 days. Oh no, I definitely need to shave. It's usually not this neck beardy. It's been a while. I think I got a haircut like mid-December, and my barber does my beard and everything too. Let me know when you hit 40. How old are you, Mac? I actually don't know how old you are. Because I thought you were like my age. You're 40? Are you shitting me? There's no way. I don't believe you. You look like you're like 31, 32. Yeah, I know Tor's a baby. Tor's younger than Samantha, because Samantha's 28. Youngsters. How old is everybody? Let's say, how old is everybody in the chat? I'm just curious to say. Jerry, I know Jerry is older. Yeah, Tor's a baby. 34, 32, 46. I kind of feel like our customer range is like early 30s to like late 50s, 60s, somewhere around there. I love when we get like the older guys that call us. I love seeing older people, I'm talking like 60, 70, 80 years old. We've had some customers, and it's awesome that, like my grandpa doesn't even know how to use a computer, and to see people that are like my parents' age or older getting into 3D printing, it's freaking awesome. Like, I wish more older people were like adventurous and got into new technology, because it's awesome. Like, I know if Samantha's grandfather was still around, he would absolutely love this stuff because he was an engineer. Like, I think it's great. I love helping them out because they're always like, the older guys. They're super nice. Like, they're very polite. I love dealing with them. And it just makes me really happy to see them getting into this new technology, because it's just like, I don't know, you get a lot of older people that I'm used to dealing with, like, that are just terrified of a smartphone, you know? So it makes me happy. Like, I love seeing that. Yeah, yeah, we've had some people that come by. Yeah, it's just awesome seeing how excited they are. Like, cause it's cool. It's just so cool. Built my first printer a decade ago. Wow, damn. Yeah, I've been doing this for over 2 years now, so I'm still new, especially compared to some of the rep guys. But I've always been a geek at heart. I love tinkering with things, electronics, mechanical stuff. Like these machines took everything, like all of my interests. So you've got like the electronics side, you've got the software side, you've got all the programming of the firmware, and you got the mechanical portions. It took everything I love and put it into one device. Like, I think that's why I got so addicted to it and why I latched onto it so quick, because it took everything that I loved doing and put it into one device and one thing that I can then use to augment my other hobbies. Like, I originally bought a 3D printer because I wanted to print enclosures for electronics projects and stop buying like project boxes and drilling them out and, doing all that stuff. I want to be able to make my own custom boxes, and that's why I originally bought a 3D printer. But it's just so cool because this technology has such a wide range of applications that, like, that's why a lot of people are getting into it. And, that's where I see us in terms of our company, is trying to help the people that are not as tech savvy get what they need and let them focus on just making things. And, we do have a lot of people that are tinkerers, and they get parts from us, and they get parts from us because they know we stock good stuff. So we got a little mix of both. But it's such a powerful piece of technology. And, if you're like me that is into like mechanical stuff, electronics, programming, the computer side of things, like, it just took all of that stuff and wrapped it up into this one awesome device. And it's addicting, to be completely honest. I still sit here and watch them print. I've had them for, over 2 years, and I still just sit there watching the layers go down because it's just mesmerizing. It's just so cool to watch that I have little machines in my house that can make products and can make parts, and I can prototype with. It's such a cool experience. And the fact that they're getting so affordable too. Like, I was telling a new guy that was helping us out, I was like, dude, you can get a printer for under $200 that actually doesn't really suck. Like, anybody can, it's so accessible. Like, pretty much anybody can get into it. It's awesome. Yeah, I'm just looking here. I love it. I get so excited about this stuff, and I still do. Like, honestly, like, when we were moving and taking everything down and going through that, I was just busy. And then, like, as soon as I started, jumping back on and catching up in the groups, I'm like, I missed this. Like, I really do enjoy doing this stuff. Because I'll tell you right now, if I was just here for the money, I would be moving on to a different stuff, because it's not that great with the amount of time we have to put in. But I don't care, because I'm doing something that I love. Like, it's awesome, and I'm helping other people out. It's such a good feeling, and I love this stuff. Like, I could talk for hours. Like, we have a guy that just started helping us out. He's a younger kid. He's like 20 years old. And I show him Thingiverse, and he's like scrolling through it, and he's like, hey, can you make me this? And he sent me a PlayStation controller holder. I was like, absolutely. I was like, pick out a color to film it. Like, we got a rack of filament that's just all the miscellaneous colors. It's not our boring black stuff. And, so I showed him how the slicer works and showed him how, I sent it over to the printer, over the network to Octoprint, and then explained how things were. And then he just sat there for like 30 minutes just watching it print, put down the first layer. And he's like sending Snapchats to all his friends, like, check this out. This is awesome. And it was just so cool to be able to then plant that seed. And like, he's going to end up getting a 3D printer. And honestly, I'm probably going to end up giving him one of the smaller ones we have, because we just got a couple extras laying around. And I just want to see his face light up when he's going to be like, oh my God, I have a printer. And he's just going to get sucked into it, and he's going to love it. And it's going to be awesome, because he's going to then be able to make stuff. And it's just cool to share that. Like, I love sharing knowledge and experience with other people, and, seeing them get excited about it, seeing their eyes light up, like just when it clicks and they realize what they can do with this technology, it's awesome. It's a very powerful thing. And yeah, I'm just looking, sorry, I've just totally been ignoring the chat while I've been rambling here. Yeah, can't beat the perfect layers going down. I'm definitely a 3D printer evangelist. I love this stuff. Like, thanks, Tom. I really appreciate that. Yeah, there is a lot of misinformation out there, and it bothers me too. Like, I try to be very thorough and very methodical and stick to, just the facts. I try not to be super opinionated. I try to back anything up I say with actual results, and there's always more than one way to doing things, but sometimes the other ways don't work very well. And I've kind of been through the ringer on these machines, especially with the cheaper machines. Yeah, I'm just looking to Tor. I definitely think we should have a pay it forward program. I want to do more outreach. I want to do more volunteer work. Like, we have a ton of schools around us. I want to approach them and see if we can go do, like, bring a bunch of machines, bring a bunch of plastic, and teach kids how to use these, and just show them. Because, like, I know, like, I've seen small kids, like, they just look at the machines and they're enthralled by it, and it's just so cool. I saw one of the older guys, he was like, yeah, he's like, I love seeing the younger people. I do too. Like, I can't wait. Honestly, I can't wait to when we have kids and I'm able to show my kids this stuff and just watch their eyes light up and be able to share all my knowledge and everything I've learned with them. It's gonna be great. I can't wait. If I ever make it to Portland, I'll let you know. I'll post when we're out and about. I don't travel much because I'm working a lot. I'm honestly kind of a homebody. But if anybody ever wants to stop by, let me know. Like, just hit us up. I have no problem with people coming over and checking out and hanging out. Yeah, Jerry, you absolutely could have. There's another guy in here called 3D Printing Trucker. You can absolutely print with a printer in your truck with a small little inverter. Like, it's not impossible. Yeah, he prints in his rig. Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, Chris Elkins is back if anybody knows who he is. He's kind of a legend around the 3D printing community. He disappeared for a while, but he's back now. All right, so it is now currently 12:40. I need to eat something, actually, and I got a few more things to do before I go to bed. I actually found I was cleaning out, if anybody remembers these, I was cleaning out our boxes downstairs, and I found my old Pebble Steel in my bin, so I set it back up, and I know Pebble shut down, but there's like a Rebel.io, so I'm going to see if this still works. I actually ordered new batteries for this because I found out I can replace the battery. So I'm going to rock my Pebble again, my Pebble Steel. So I'll probably switch off between that and my wife got me a nice skeleton watch, but I'm gonna see how much I actually use the smartwatch again. So, But anyways, everybody, I appreciate you stopping by. I'm not going to plug anything. I just want to say thank you for stopping by. Thank you for all your support. And thank you, everybody, for being patient during the move. I know some of you guys have orders that are out. We're working as fast as we can to do them. And I assure you that aside from right now, our nights will be spent packing orders. And our guys, myself, Rami, Alan, Bruce, Samantha, we're all putting in extra hours to make sure everything goes out on time. And we will be reopening the shop on January 14th. So everybody, stay safe, have a good time, say hi to your loved ones, and happy printing.